Welcome to Crankworx World Tour.
Speed may equal distance over time, but consistency is still king. When it comes to the PumpTrack, two-time series champ Adrien Leroux has shown that you don't necessarily have to win the title. In Leger, riders like Mitch Ropolato, Barry Nobles, and Crankworx Rotorua winner Keegan Wright will look to transform their speed into a win and eventually into their own title. Consistency is also queen. Reigning queen of Crankworx Jill Kittner had a streak of PumpTrack wins until Australia's Caroline Buchanan took home the win in Rotorua. All bets are off in France. Mountain bikers of the world, I hope you are ready because all the action starts right now. It is your PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox.
This is what it's all about. The place to be. Stop number 2 on your Crankworx World Tour in Leger. Here we go.
Several dimensions are shaping victories.
1080, stomping it! Oh, perfect execution.
The best mountain bike riders on earth.
Check the time here. Can he keep it up? He enters the final straightaway first. He crossed the finish line first. He does. Oh, just barely too short.
One queen and one king will claim the title of best all-around mountain biker on the planet.
And a big bonjour to the world. Thanks for joining us out here. It is stop number 2 on your Crankworx World Tour. It is all about your PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox. And we got something special planned for you. Needles, how excited are you to get this show going?
I'm feeling good about it. It's been a bit long since the first stop. I want to get some racing under the way.
Well, let's talk a little bit about where we're located because it is an awesome place. But just for some of you that are watching, where are we located?
We're in Leger, we're in the Port du Soleil region. The great thing about this place is we're not just in one resort. There's all these lifts. Combine them all. There's over like 30 lifts. It's like the biggest mountain bike playground that I know of.
I'm talking 90 kilometers of trails and 3 mountain bike dedicated lifts. I mean, you can really feel this mountain and you guys can go and check everything out. Now, you were telling me a little bit about it, saying that you can go different trails pretty much all day long.
Yeah, we used to come train here for downhill and we'd start in Leger, then to Morsey, and you can climb over, have lunch on your way to Switzerland, make your way back, and pretty much not ride the same trail twice in one day.
How nice is that? Well, let's talk about that. We talk about this being stop number 2 on the Crankworx World Tour. Yes, there was a stop number 1, and that was none other than Rotorua, New Zealand. So let's rewind the clock and look about what went down in stop number 1 in Rotorua. Well, it came down to 8 ladies for going to the big show, but there's only room for 2 when it comes to the finals and the battle for the gold medal. And on the ladies' side of things, well, there was a couple in there. We're talking about this young lady right here, Caroline Buchanan. She was ready to get things done, but she had to get through Jill Kittner. That's not easy to do.
No, round 1. Jill was up against the pressure. Caroline came out super quick out the gate. That BMX background really paying off. She had an advantage coming down this main straight and took that all the way to round 2.
She looked so solid crossing the line first. Round 2, how did it stack up?
Yeah, Jill needed a good start, which she did not get, so the pressure was mounting coming down this back straight. Caroline just needed to ride a pretty safe race here because she had the advantage from the first run. Jill could not make it up. Caroline dethroning Jill Kittner, the queen of PumpTrack.
That's not easy to do when you're battling someone who has 8 first-place finishes in PumpTrack. Well, it came down to the guys now. Adrien Leroux, a PumpTrack crusher, going against the local boy, Keegan Wright, right here. And I'll tell you what, was Keegan going to do it right? Well, this is how it played out.
Yeah, the underdog, Keegan Wright, extremely talented on a bicycle. He came out swinging in this first round, really putting the pressure on Adrien. He was super fast down this back straight. He took the advantage going into round 2.
It almost looked like Adrien was quite surprised on that finish in round 1.
Round 2, all Keegan needed to do was ride a smart race, and he had it in the bag. Adrien put some pressure on him out of this turn, but then something happened down on this last straight. He kind of gave up, made a mistake, and Keegan took down that gold.
Boy, he sure did. You see the fist pump right there. Keegan Wright comes away with the gold medal in his home country. Nicely done. And that's how it broke down the finals for you out there in Rotorua. But we talk about Crankworx being a world tour. That means there's 4 stops. And there's also a series championship that's up for grabs in PumpTrack. And as things are breaking down for the women, we look at our top 3 right now, and you see Danielle Beecroft in that 3rd spot, Jill Kittner in 2nd. What? That's weird. And Caroline Buchanan dethroning Jill Kittner with all those podiums. She's had 8 different podiums out here in PumpTrack.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable streak for Jill Kittner. Obviously, it didn't carry on for her because Caroline came out swinging at that first round in New Zealand.
She was serious. But on the men's side, things got pretty serious too as far as that goes. But let's take a look at the standings after that, because you gotta like Keegan Wright, man. First of all, Keegan Wright, an amazing rider. He came out hometown and made things happen. But if you look at the series right now, here's how it's stacking up. You got Barry Nobles. He's like the silent assassin in that 3rd spot. Then Adrian Larone, 2nd place. It seems like he's so accustomed to 2nd place, but then Keegan Wright taking the win out there.
Yeah, and we can't count Adrian out. You know, he doesn't always win all the races, but he's super consistent, and that's how he gets those titles.
Okay, well, how does a PumpTrack challenge work? Well, I'll tell you what, Needle's got you covered right now with the format.
The format, no pedaling. Minimum 26-inch wheels. It's a time qualifier format that brings us to these brackets.
Well, in the brackets now, it says top 32 men and top 8 ladies, but the situation here is we're already at top 16 men, so we whittle it down to 16, but you will see the top 8 women competing out here.
It's a head-to-head format. It's 2 runs, 1 on each course. You combine those times for a total time fastest guy advances.
And then looking at the leaderboard right now, Keegan Wright in the lead after the win. Adrian Larone in 2nd. Barry Nobles in that 3rd spot. Caroline Buchanan number 1. Jill Kittner number 2. And Danielle Beecroft in that number 3 spot with 75. That's the format. Okay, so we talked format. We've talked about who's won, who hasn't won. But let's talk about a little bit of tech stuff. Let's get into this. And how are the bikes different when it comes to PumpTrack that you would on a normal downhill bike?
They're a lot simpler. Most, if not all of them, are hardtails, and they have a suspension fork up front. Now, depending on different brand manufacturers, depends on how much pressure you're going to put in these forks. So let's have a look. We chatted to some of the riders. We got some info. Kyle Strait, he weighs in at 90 kilograms, 120 psi in his Rockshox fork. Adrian Larong, 75 kilograms. He's running a lot more pressure, so he obviously doesn't want too much give. You don't want to give up too much kind of squish on those bumps. You want to be carrying speed, not leave anything out on the track. Keegan Wright also runs a lot of pressure.
Well, one of the guys that we saw in that graphic right there was Kyle Strait. And Kyle Strait, we're looking forward to seeing him compete here today. But unfortunately, this is what happened to Kyle Strait yesterday. And you might want to just hide your eyes if you can't handle some big crashes, because watch this.
Yeah, you never want to see this shame. He got taken out in the air. Obviously a big mistake by the competitor. He ended up hitting Kyle upside down doing a backflip. That's just the nature of the beast in the sport, sometimes out of your control.
Now look at that left leg. He's just dangling it right there. He's not putting it on the pedal at all. And it told me that it was his knee, which is the most part that was giving him the hardest point. And he's hoping that maybe he can compete in Innsbruck. He's going to give it a few days. Well, one of the things we do here at Crankworx is the Crankworx Fantasy, and it is a whole lot of fun. A little bit of changes this year because now we've been doing daily prizes. You can pick your team. Now, you're too late to pick it for PumpTrack, but you know what? You can pick it for downhill tomorrow and slopestyle the next day after that. You pick your team. Daily prizes can be won like that. And all you got to do is, if you think you know how to pick the right riders, you can come away and win some cool prizes.
It keeps it way more interesting. If you're at home, you can really root for the guys on your team. You can kind of have a battle, internal battle with friends and stuff at home. I really like this format. It's very exciting.
And just let's face it, people think that they know who's going to win. A lot of people think they got their eyes on the prize. But until you actually pick them and see what's going on, it's hard to do. But Crankworx Fantasy is a lot of fun. You can win some big stuff out of it. So that is our Crankworx Fantasy for you. All right, well, let's talk about the brackets now. We started with 32. We have narrowed that down to the round of 16s, and these are the guys you see match up. When those names turn yellow, that means they're going to have the advantage when they go into the second matchup of each of these guys. And if you're looking at all these, any surprises out here, Needles?
It's some big names. Mitch Robillard is a surprise for me because we know he took a big crash yesterday, but he came out qualified in first place from what we saw. So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes through the rounds because it takes a lot of energy to get through the rounds.
Well, we will find out because I'll tell you what, these guys are hyped. There's your winner from Rotorua, where he's ready to go too as well.
we're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle. The new Pike is lighter with an all-new trail-focused chassis. Gives you more control with its new Charger 2 damper and new remote options for ultimate efficiency. Feels more supple with its new Debonair spring. Is stiffer for better steering authority and offers increased tire compatibility. This is the new Pike, an even better benchmark.
Crankworx Leger, brought to you by Leger Bike Park, the best bike park in Europe. We are just about ready to get started, but our number one qualifier that we were talking about, Mitch Ropalato, this guy shouldn't even be here today. You can see him right there with the monster helmet. He's on the left side of the screen. And let me show you what happened to Mitch Ropalato yesterday. Take a look at this. This one is definitely hard to watch. Oh.
You never want to see that. Mitch managed to stomp one of these in New Zealand Rotorua on his speed and style. And obviously he was trying to repeat that. He walked away. I have no idea how he did that, Brad.
How does he go away from that and then he's back here qualifying #1 Needles?
That's what makes these guys the special athletes they are. It's a do or die attitude. He obviously didn't sustain too many bad injuries. So let's rack him for this Heat 1.
Well, here we go. First up, Mitch Ropalato. You see him on the left there, and you got Adrian Daly from France. He is on the right. Now remember, Mitch Ropalato, huge crash yesterday, but #1 qualifier, they're off.
And they're out the gate. He's got the lead going into this first turn. I watched practice. There's a little bump in that first turn. We're going to have to see how it develops. He's on a little lead. This track is super physical, Brad. Pretty comfortable lead. They'll take that into round 2. Old Mitch Ropalato not showing any signs of that crash from yesterday.
Well, I got to think Adrian Daly was very happy to make it to the round of 16, but then he saw who he stacked up against. Maybe that happy turned to fright after that.
Yeah, he's been focusing on the EWS. Obviously, he's been tearing it up. So that's great to see him out here taking a little break and come to PumpTrack. That's what it's all about.
I'll tell you what, one of my new favorite riders, he's all-around new favorite rider. That's Keegan Wright. He is from Rotorua, took the win out there in Rotorua, but he's just kind of like a dude's dude, man. Why is he the new favorite rider? Well, this right, low-key as bro, that's why. Hashtag that, put it up there. He races Enduro, does some DH, and he charges PumpTrack.
Yeah, he does them all. He's really been excelling in multi-disciplines, and that's why we're here at Crankworx. We offer all those disciplines.
Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't know, he's a super nice dude as well.
Good to know.
So Keegan Wright, he is on the left or on the right on this one. So Keegan Wright going against Benedict Last here. Here we go.
They're out the gate pretty even. Oh no, big mistake from Keegan Wright. I'm not sure what the judge is going to say about that. He actually went off track and he's behind going into this next round.
Oh, some pressure. Benedict Last is not last on this one. He's first, and that's by 0.25, but a mistake by Keegan Wright. And that just shows you that that can happen in PumpTrack.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe let's look at this right here. Take the replay here. Take a look at Keegan Wright here and see what goes wrong with him. So it looks good, right?
Consistent out the gate, no problem. He comes out, he's very committed in this turn, but he runs a bit wide, just slips off the rollers. They're pretty narrow, so that's kind of makes it more technical. Hey, these things happen.
All right, Thomas Slavic now. He is going against Luka Kometi, and you got Thomas Slavic. He is on the left. Kometi on the right here.
Yeah, Slavic, one of my favorite riders to watch ride. He's all muscle, a lot of skill. Obviously, former world champ in BMX. Brings that over to PumpTrack. Running pretty wide there on that turn. Let's see how he holds speed out of this back turn. He's holding the lead. There's not a lot of options on this track, which obviously we're going to see a lot tighter racing come down the final rounds.
So Slavic will have the advantage, and the difference will be 0.34 over Kometi on that one when they will stack him and rack him again. But that's how it looks for him. Taking a look at the bracket so far, there's the names in yellow. That means they have the advantage going into the next one. So Benedict Glass, Mitro Pilato, and Thomas Slavic all with advantages. Now we got Matt Walker, Adrian Larone. This is going to be a good one. And you can see right now, Adrian Larone, 100% game face right now on the right.
Mr. Consistency, Adrian Larone. He's got so many second places, obviously 2 titles to his name. Matt Walker, no slouch on the PumpTrack, comes from a BMX background.
And Matt Walker's still in the charts trying to see if he can get King of Crankworx. Here we go.
He'll slow at the gate. Obviously, you've got individual timing, so we'll see what the time does. They pump in the back straight. It's a slower course than we saw in Road to Rush. You really got to muscle the bike and make sure you're pumping as hard as you can. Matt Walker's got a bit of a deficit to make up going into the second round.
And Needles, that's tough because you're facing Adrian Larone, and a 0.81, that's an eternity to try and make that up with. You got Adrian Larone. You're almost hoping that he makes a mistake in that second matchup.
Yeah, you're going to have to come out the gate pretty quick, put some pressure on him, hope for that mistake.
Barry Nobles and Bas Van Steenbergen, USA versus Canada on this matchup now.
These are some big rounds. I mean, these rounds we could probably see in the semis or even finals, these sort of names.
So Bas Van Steenbergen, he beat Josh Bryceland to make it to the top 16. Here we go.
Aaron Nobles, we know he's got BMX background. He's got jump track in his back garden. We know he's been focusing on pump tracks, on the mountain bike, and it's really showing here.
And he's just a mound of muscle as well, like Thomas Slavic. And you see him getting the win on that first one. So 0.60, that's what Bass is going to have to make up over Barry Nobles. And once again, that's a tough task to do. You almost need a mistake out of him because Barry Nobles is so solid.
So as we see, they've taken their chains off, so there's no pedaling allowed, obviously, and now there's no possibility of anyone sneaking in cheeky crank here or there to gain speed.
So next up, Eddie Masters, and Hans Slavic. And Slavic you can see on the right, and then you got Eddie Masters on the left there.
Yeah, it's always exciting seeing Ed. Let's see what he's got here. Yeah, no relation to Thomas Slavic. Hannes coming from Germany. We're going to Austria next week. Pretty tight battle here. Looks even coming down the back straight here.
Oh, look at this, all the way to the end. Slavic's going to take the edge by 0.25. Yeah, so things are heating up here. Dakota Norton and Remy Morton coming up. But before we get to Dakota Norton stacking up against Remy Morton, I think it's time to check in. The girl downstairs, we got Hannah Bernard, third member of our team. What's up, Hannah?
Hey, thank you very much, guys. Yeah, well, I'm just down here at the finish line here at the PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox. This event is always so much fun. It's such an exciting event for the crowd here. We're seeing everyone having a blast, right, Leger? You guys are having fun? Let's make some noise. But the assumption is that it's less serious of an event for the guys, but that actually isn't the case. As we saw last year here at this exact same event, we saw guys absolutely bring in the heat, and they paid the consequence. We saw a lot of crashes on this same course last year, but obviously different conditions last year. Very, very wet winter that they had here in Leger. This year, though, completely different story. Very dry winters. So today we had a beautiful day here in Leger. The course is riding very, very fast, really tight, groomed rollers. So we're going to see some really tight battles out here today, guys. Back up to you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Hannah. And you got to think about it right now. I mean, so much different conditions last year. It was actually just puking down rain the whole entire time we were here. We know that from the downhill competition, but it's different now. We haven't had much rain, and everything's running fast, and everybody's pretty hyped up on the course.
Yeah, the dirt's super hard back, so when it rains, it gets slick. But when it gets super dry, there's a little bit of dust that sits on top. Fine, you've got to really, really watch yourself.
So Dakota Norton and Remy
Morton, also known for riding his BMX at the trails, kind of a BMX background, youngster up and coming. Oh, he's running wide there, made a bit of mistake as I say that.
And Dakota Norton is going to take the edge on that one by 0.29 over Remy. So the Norton-Morton matchup is not disappointing.
Dakota burst on the scene, winning our dual slalom back in Whistler, had a good finish in PumpTrack. Then we kind of didn't see him for a while. It's nice to see him back here.
And next up, Rafael Robles and Cheney Gunet, and he was the one. Cheney was the defending champ out here. So the last time he participated out here, he won it all on that wet course. We'll look at Cheney right there.
And they're off down the first straight. It is funny when they don't have chains on, and it's kind of your instinct to try and make a little crank to try and get some more speed, but it's obviously this is the fairest way to do it. And Cheney with the lead going into round 2.
Cheney looking solid right there, just like where he left off last year, taking the win. Didn't know much about him, but he came out here and showed that he could ride in any conditions and took a win.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his shorts on, so he's looking to go pretty quick here.
Shorts. Indeed. Well, that's how it's going so far. We've seen one matchup in the round of 16, but the good thing is they get to do it all over again. So if you're behind and you got to make up the difference, well, you got one more and you're done to see if you can make it into the round of 8. So that's how it's looking out here for you so far. Round of 16, one run in the books, and the second run to come. The top dogs ready to go. Mitch Ropolato will be coming back at it when we come back. Stay with us.
Nice one.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
Crankworx Leger brought to you by Whistler Mountain Bike Park. Love the feeling of being truly awake. And I'll tell you what, we are just getting into our second runs here in our round of 16. We've seen one race, we've seen them all stack up against each other, but the cool thing about PumpTrack is they got to do it again. They got to beat them in the second race too as well. Now you see the names in yellow. The yellow means they have the advantage going into it. So Mitch has the advantage, Benedict has the advantage, Thomas Slavic, Adrian Lerone, Barry Nobles, Hannah Slavic, Dakota Norton, and Cheney Gunet all have the advantage. But speaking of Cheney Gunet, the guy wins it last year. I didn't even know who this man was. How does he get through? You saw the carnage and the crashes. How does Cheney Gunet come across and win?
It's news to me, and we all saw him last year. He's riding really smooth and really consistent. And in those slippery conditions, you've got to be consistent. You can't push too hard.
Well, talking about pushing too hard, Adrian Daly is going to need to push real hard to beat Mitch Ropalato. Ropalato on the right on this one. Here we go, back to racing.
Yeah, it's all to play for you in the second round. So if you've got the lead, you want to be a bit more smooth, consistent. Bit of bobble from him there on the left. Mitch Ropalato. Oh, another bobble from him. He was carrying very good speed out of there, and he kind of just, his foot was a bit light, hit the bump, off a K.
So 1.75, Adrian Daly did an amazing job getting into that top 16, but Mitch Ropalato, the #1 qualifier, he will be moving on. He's going to face the winner of this one, and this is a big surprise. You remember when Keegan went off course, what do you think the judges say about this? Does he get docked on that?
Well, they've put him through, obviously, so let's find out how it goes. He obviously didn't gain any time by going off track, so now he's really got to make something up.
0.25 the difference. Keegan Wright can do it if he has a Keegan Wright style run like he had out there in Rotorua to take the win. Here we go, Keegan Wright, he is on the left this time, and you got Benedict last on the right. Here we go.
Yeah, so two different techniques. Keegan's kind of keeping the front wheel on the ground. Other one doing a bit of a manual here. So Benedict, don't know if this is going to be enough for the 0.25.
I don't think it is. Keegan Wright's going to edge him out by 0.07. But he is done. Keegan Wright is done, and that means Benedict last. He will be moving in. What a shakeup right now in the overall series.
That is big for the overall PumpTrack series. Keegan Wright is not going to be happy with that. He's off to the showers early tonight.
Well, and it just shows you one mistake can cost you the race. Thomas Slavic now, he is on the right on this one, and Luca Cometti on the left.
So Slavic decides to clip in here. Obviously BMX background. Even though there's no pedaling, he feels that he can put more sort of power and weight through that back wheel when he's pumping with the clip pedals. Very good start from Slavic, no surprise there. Such a strong rider. Yeah, it's very narrow there where Keegan went off, so riders are going to have to keep that in mind when they push into these brackets.
Cometti trying to make a charge at the end, but Slavic too much for him on that one, so 0.33 the difference on that one, but Slavic already had the advantage by 1.56, so we'll see Slavic moving on to the winner of this one.
Yeah, I like Slavic's attitude. He's not afraid of having a party after he's had a good race, trained super hard, and that shows why he's still out here competing after all these years.
Oh, look at this. Adrian Lerone and Matt Walker going head-to-head. And the king of Crankworx standings, look at that. Adrian Lerone is in third with 225 points. He's just behind Matt Walker with 280. So this means a lot in the battle for the king of Crankworx right now.
That it does. So we're going to see how this shapes up. One of them's going to take home some points, and the other one's going to be a bit bummed about it.
So Matt Walker on the right, Adrian Lerone on the left.
And that's a big deficit to make up.
Huge.
That's really tough. These tracks are running pretty similar. We heard the rider's left lane is riding a bit quicker, but not a whole lot. He's putting the pressure on him, but hey, Mr. Consistent, he ain't faltering yet.
So Walker's going to come across first by 0.04, but Adrian Lerone is going to be the one advancing on because he had the difference. And you know what? Adrian Lerone did not want it to happen like against Keegan Wright last month, well, last couple months ago. So good to see him moving on, and that's going to do it for Matt Walker. And you think about this is all about the king of Crankworx, so that just is one thing that he needed to do, and he did it right there. So Barry Nobles up for you next. So talking to Barry Nobles, he had a little something to say about the series.
Get it like at the end of it to really kind of pull you in. It's not just a mountain bike festival now. Like, this is a series, and everybody wants to come away with that title.
Well, he takes it very serious. He is out here for one thing, and that is to win. And that's what Barry Nobles is all about. So right now he's got to go against Bass van Steenbergen. Barry Nobles has the advantage by 0.60. That's a lot for Bass have to make that up.
Yeah, as we said, these courses run pretty similar. You got to come out of the gate hard here. Bass hasn't done that. Barry's actually got the lead going into this back berm. That back berm was a problem last year. They fixed it up a bit. Barry is no slouch in the turns either from the BMX background.
And you just knew it. He knew what he needed to do, and he did it right there. So Barry Nobles will be advancing on 1.73. That's gonna be done for Bass van Steenbergen. He is gone.
Yeah, let's take a look back and let's see what technique he brings over from the BMX background. So out the gate, they want to generate some speed. Once he's got speed, he's quick to do the manualing. There he actually hopped in the backside. So he uses the manual technique. He really pushes that back wheel into the ground before the other roller.
And you could see him right before he crossed the finish line. He gives that little look back over his right just to see where his other competitor was.
Yeah, no, he means business tonight, and he's really brute power when he pumps a bike.
Eddie Masters and Hannah Slavik now. Slavik is now on the left. Eddie Masters has moved over to the right, but he's got to make up a 0.25. That's doable.
That is most certainly doable.
But you want to get the snap out of the gate.
And it's not easy. It's a bit of a slow start, this pump track, but once they get going, then the speed starts building. Eddie was really clean out of that turn. He's holding a bit of advantage.
Just got
He's pumping hard down here. Can he do it?
Eddie Masters coming across first. Is it enough?
I think he has.
0.32 was the difference on that one.
0.25.
Oh, 0.07. Eddie Masters advances on to face Barry Nobles.
Looks like the Van Zacks and Eddie are sharing bikes here. That's part of the game here. He's rushing the bike back to the start.
All right, let's check in with Hannah Bernard, third member of our team. Hannah?
Hey, thank you very much, guys. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on format. I think, Needles, you mentioned it earlier that there are no chains on any of our riders' bikes. So that's something that happened in Rotorua. There was actually a riders' vote, and most of the riders voted to have no chains. So obviously, what this means is it's going to be a lot of core strength at that start. There's no room to do a baby puddle because you have no chains on your bike. What it also means is that there is no time to waste. You got to pump through this as quick as you can. So something to look forward to in the rest of the competition.
Well, that means it's fair, right, Needles?
100% fair. There's no judges needed to differentiate between the guy pedaling or baby pedaling or not.
Morton and Norton going again.
I think there's another word for it, but we'll leave that for off-air.
Yeah, that's an off-air topic. So Dakota Norton and Remy Morton now. And here we go.
Remy out the gate quick here. It's pretty neck and neck coming into this back straight, back berm. So there's not a lot of options here. So it's all down your brute force, your power, your commitment coming to finish. This one's a dead heat.
So 0.04 the difference. That's almost a tie right there, but Dakota Norton will be advancing on by 0.25.
Didn't look happy, but he's going to advance. So he's going into another round. Remy was riding well. Very, very close heat here.
On to the next one, bro.
We'll see both those guys in the downhill tomorrow.
Here we go. We got Rafael Robles, and he's going against Cheney Gunet. Cheney Gunet, the winner from last year in Leger. He is now on the left. 0.58 is what Rafael has to make up on this one. Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah, Cheney needs to ride a pretty consistent race, and all should be good going into next round. But we've seen problems before with guys, even with big leads.
One little mistake could mean the end of your day. Oh.
Yeah, little slip out the gate. That's going to add some pressure. And he's also got the lane. He got through it quick, but there's a bump developing that turn. I want to see how it develops over the course of the evening. And we said he just needed to run like a consistent race. Emmy's behind. He had a very big gap there.
Yeah, you got to give it up for Rafael taking the edge on that second one. But yeah, Cheney Gunet is too much matchup for Rafael Robles.
Let's take a look back at the start, see how they got out the gate here. Yeah, a bit of hesitation from Cheney, but luckily for him, he had a bit of a gap that he didn't have to ride too out of his skin here.
You could see him kind of manualing through that first part. It seems like he kept his speed solid through there.
Yeah, he's really using the manual technique over others that are just feeling like they're not going fast enough for manual and they're really pushing their front wheel in. He's deciding to push his back wheel into those back sides.
Okay, so we've seen 2 races so far in our round of 16. Now we've narrowed it down to our Elite 8, and these are the guys that are going to be going head-to-head. Mitch Ropolato against Benedict Glass, Thomas Slavic against Adrian Larone, Barry Nobles against Eddie Masters, and Dakota Norton going against Cheney Gannett. He's the guy who took the big win last year here in Leger. So exciting stuff as these guys get ready to go. And the battle right now. And there we go. Now we have, you can see over on the left, there's Jill Kittner. And there's Geraldine Fink now on the right.
She will be tough to beat tonight. I was watching practice qualifiers. She was going up against some of the men doing her qualifying run, and she managed to edge out 1 or 2 of the men. Me and you know, Bryn and Kyle were on the side saying we're glad we weren't out there. We would have faked a crash or something to not get beat. And as I said, she comes out like a rocket out the gate here. Very consistent rider. She did get dethroned, but if I know Jill, that's only motivated her more to go home, put in the work, put in the training. She's so good at adapting and working on her weaknesses.
I like what you said about that right now, because Jill Kittner is that kind of person. She got beat. She does not want to be beat, so she's coming out with her A game. She's #1 qualifier. Let's take a look at that last straightaway from Jill Kittner here and just kind of watch what she does.
Yeah, she hops into that roller, carrying brilliant speed. Yeah, big manual from her into a little hop to the downslope. I mean, that's really, really good skill.
Yeah, she's going to be a tough one to beat. And definitely when she has that extra charge that she wants to win. She wants to show that she belongs there. She is the queen of Crankworx, so she's the reigning queen right now. Now we go next up to Via Verbeek and Laura Bretthauer. So Bretthauer on the right, and Verbeek now on the left.
So we got clips versus flats, another different option, whatever you want to run. Very tight here into the back straight from these 2 ladies. Via needs to push a bit harder here. I think she's got a little bit of ground to make up here. Laura's riding a very, very smart race here.
Laura looks quite sharp, and she does by 0.50, the difference between her and Verbeek now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of ladies that ride flats, even on the downhill scene. You get 1 or 2. Obviously, they're kind of not as powerful as the men. That's a fact, not always. And it's really hard to keep those feet on the pedals.
So we take it back to the top here as we get set for our next matchup here in Leger. Crankworx World Tour stop #2. And on Carpenter now, she is on the left on this one. Steffi Marth on the right.
It's great to see these ladies out here. Manon's always loved the Crankworx events. It's good to see her come out here. New team for Radon. We'll see in the downhill as well tomorrow. It's obviously her focus, but it's great to see them out here on PumpTrack.
And taking a look right here.
She's running with the lead here. She'll take the lead into the 2nd round.
And that's going to be by 0.47, so it's something that you can make up, but the way Carpenter is riding, I think that's going to be pretty tough for Steffi Marth. You got to like our next matchup, Caroline Buchanan. You may ask yourself, for some of you who are maybe new to this, take a look at the Queen of Crankworx standing. Oh, hello, Caroline Buchanan on the #1 spot with Jill Kittner in 2nd. How did she get to that #1 spot? Well, let me show you how she did it.
Caroline, I mean, her pedigree speaks for itself. She's got titles in multiple disciplines. So we're taking a look back at the ADH and Rotorua. Obviously coming from a BMX background, but she's working a lot on her mountain bike skill and doing a lot of different disciplines. the upset that we've all been waiting for. Jill obviously wasn't hoping for it, but I mean, she was dethroned. Caroline rode a flawless race to take down Jill Kittner.
Oh, and she is excited with that one, where let's see what she can do. Can she capitalize that? She's in the charge for the queen of Crankworx, and a win out here today would really help her cause. So Isabeau Cordier, she is on the right. Caroline Buchanan on the left here, Needles.
Yeah, Isabeau's got a work cut out for it. From more enduro background as far as I know. It's good to see her out here on the pump track. Caroline is not that far ahead just yet, so she'll take the lead probably going into the second round.
Oh, and that's the number 2 going against the number 7 right there. Isabeau qualified in that number 7 spot, and Caroline qualified in that number 2 spot. So you almost got to think the matchup is going to come down to Buchanan going against Jill Kittner. But anything can happen. Mistakes can happen. You can go off course. And we saw the upset with Keegan Wright, so it's not official yet. Take a look at it right now. Jill Kittner, she has the advantage over Fink. Laura has the advantage over Via. And then you got Manon has the advantage over Steffi. And then Caroline Buchanan is over Isabeau right there with the advantage.
Yeah, like you said, doesn't matter if you're holding the lead going into the second round, be it a big one. Mistakes can happen, and they do happen, and that's what makes it exciting.
Back to the guys now. We got Mitch Ropolato and Benedict Last. He's over there on the right-hand side, and Mitch Ropolato on the left. Remember, Mitch Ropolato qualified the number 1 spot, and Benedict qualified the number 9 spot as far as time goes.
Mitch caught sleeping out the gate, but he's pumping hard to gain back that deficit he had. So these two guys going head-to-head. Mitch has got some work cut out for him. He's going to have a bit of ground to make up in the second round.
0.33, the difference right there. And that's what we talk about, Needles, the mistake. If you have a little mistake, you have a bobble out of the gate. That's going to hurt you, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is you got to stay calm when you have a bobble out the gate. You're obviously on individual timing, but you see the guy going out ahead of you and get a little bit messed up in your own head.
Well, next up we have Slavic going against Adrian Lerone, and Slavic takes his pump track style. He also takes it to the downhill courses too as well. Let's take a look at Rotorua right now and show you what Slavic did. Talk to me about his technique here.
So, BMX background. You know, you want to really maximize the backside of these rollers and pump. So this is kind of something you can take to the trail though, Brad. So you see here, let's take a look at A-Line. When he can't pedal, what can you do? Well, you've got to maximize ground speed, and that's by pumping backsides, be it the back of a jump or little bumps, so you can hop into the backside. And Slavic is really, really good at this, like we said, from a BMX background. So guys, when you're out at home, sometimes you can't pedal, practice the pumping technique. Pump the backsides of those backsides.
That's the word of advice from Needles right there. And look at Slavic just looking solid. Can he continue out the domination? Well, the thing is, who does he have to face right here? A very tough competitor in Adrian Lerone. Lerone on the right, Slavic on the left. Their first matchup here today.
What a matchup. This could easily be a final. This is going to be exciting. Head-to-head out the gate into the first turn. That's into that narrow back straight, but both navigate that cleanly. Now they're going to come pretty close together. Adrian Long seems to have a bit of an advantage. That's not a whole lot, though, going into a second round with that sort of competition.
0.26 the difference on that. Do you think one of the courses might be faster than the other, Needles?
Yeah, we heard reports. So the riders left, so Adrian's lane that he took, reports are that it's a little bit faster. So maybe Slavic can take there's a bit of confidence going into the next round.
So now we head back up for Eddie Masters versus Barry Nobles. Nobles now is going to be on the left on this one, and Masters is on the right. Oh, there's a smile. I thought it was all game face, but no, he's into it. He's having fun.
No, Eddie's known for having a good time. Work hard, play hard kind of guy, and I think that's why the fans love him, like to support him, kind of an underdog type thing. He better get his game face on to take down Barry Nobles in PumpTrack, though. It's all fun and games until someone gets beat on PumpTrack.
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, he's keeping him honest.
Oh, by 0.15. So not by much. Nobles will have the advantage by 0.15. So Eddie Masters will go back up. They'll rack them again and see how these guys stack up. Let's take a look at the final straight between these two guys because they were just on point. Take a look.
Yeah, so we've got Barry Nobles using the manual technique. Eddie Masters preferring to go with kind of pumping his front wheel down the backside. Both equally good.
Can you tell what the manual technique is for the viewers at home?
Yeah, the manual technique is where you feel like you're going too fast and you really drive your back wheel into the backside of the roller and lift your front wheel so that the front wheel lands over the second roller.
Listen up, kids. Needles just dropped a knowledge bomb on you there. Dakota Norton and Cheney Gunet. Cheney Gunet, remember, he's the winner from Leger last year in very wet conditions. Well, a different year this year for sure. We'll see what Dakota Norton has for him. Oh, look at the jump.
Yeah, Cheney not sleeping out of that gate. He was caught sleeping in 1 or 2 rounds earlier. Oh, there you go. It is very, very narrow on that backside straight. Dakota obviously having to push, feeling like he really needs to keep Cheney honest. That's going to be all she wrote unless we get a big mistake from Cheney.
What happened there? Let's take a look at the replay because we saw that with Keegan Wright on the other side of the other course do the same thing.
Yeah, so we didn't see the entry, but we know there's a bump on the entry of that turn. It pushed him a little bit wide, and he just couldn't get out of that turn in time.
What do you need to do there, Needles, to not make that happen? You need to go higher on that bank so you can stay to your right?
Yeah, you need to come in higher, but also you need to maybe even brake coming in, because if you come in too hot, the bike's going to stand you up, and then it's too late. Once it stood you up, you're not going to be able to get out of the corner tight enough.
But there's no chain. If you're going to brake, you're going to lose your speed.
Yeah.
The fans having a good time out here in Leger, France. Second stop on the Crankworx World Tour.
Yeah.
And there is Aiden Laron. Well, I tell you what, he is the king of second place. This guy has so many second place finishes. It's absolutely crazy. And just take a look at him right there. Those are all second places. That's not even fair, Needles.
No, that's not. Imagine just making those all into first places. But like we said, king of consistency, and it's no slouch to be on the podium that many times.
Well, and he's, let's face it, without winning, he has won the PumpTrack Series without even winning any of the competitions. Just keep it close, stay in there, finish second, do that in all races, you can end up being the winner. All right, well, we got a break in the action right now as we're getting our riders ready to go for the ladies and for the men. But I think we should check in with Hannah Bernard. Hannah, you down there? What's going on?
Hey, thank you guys. Well, I got to the bottom of a little mystery down here. We're wondering who this guy, Benedict Last, is. He just took out Keegan Wright, our winner from Rotorua. I had a chance to catch up with him. This is his first time at a Crankworx event, which is why we haven't heard of him before. He comes from a 4-cross background, and he's from Germany. So he decided to just hop on over and come here to Crankworx Leger. So guys, definitely a guy to keep our eye on. He has the edge on Mitch Ropolato going into the second run. So a guy to look out for in the rest of the Crankworx World Series, guys.
Wow, I tell you what, he is the real deal. I mean, I've never seen him before, but he's definitely not last when it comes down to it. When you take out the guy who won it in Rotorua, and then you have an advantage over Mitch Ropolato, the #1 qualifier, what?
It's true to Crankworx style, putting these guys that we haven't heard about kind of on the map.
And we've seen that happen. We've seen that happen before. Okay, once again, the women that are in the yellow right there, they have the advantage. So Jill has the advantage over Fink. You got Laura having the advantage over Vaya, and the rest of them out there. In yellow means you have the advantage going into the second matchup. So now we get them ready to go again. Jill Kittner, she'll switch sides. Now she's on the right. And Geraldine Fink, now she's on the left. But 1.34, that's like an hour almost to try and make up.
In PumpTrack talk, that is a long time. Geraldine's going to have to hope for a mistake from Jill Kittner or pressurize her into one. Both out the gate clean. Jill Kittner, like we said, she uses that manual style. Normally on this second time she comes down that straight. All clean for her. I know she's going to probably ride a smart race. Doesn't need to push it. There's that manual we like from her. Winner and advance to the next round.
So you say not to push it. What do you mean by that?
Obviously you've got a certain speed. And you don't want to ride at 100% because then you've got risks of crashing. And she doesn't need to. So she can back it down, ride at 95%, way more conservative, touch the brakes going into the turn,
Does that save your energy too as well for a long day of PumpTrack?
Great point. So let's look back at Jill. She's really got great technique on the manual. Managing so well, kind of hops her into the backside. That's from her BMX background. We know she spends a lot of time on her bike. She rides with Bryn all the time. She's obviously got to pick up a lot of kind of technique from him. It's a no-brainer.
Now we send it back up top to Via Verbeek, a .50 she's got to make up over Laura Brethauer. So I got to think that's another tough one to make up.
Yeah, but like we said, anything can happen. So let's get them out the gate here. We've got the clip versus flat technique here. Looking kind of even here down this straight into the back turn. Can she put some pressure on her coming down the final straight?
Little pressure, but not enough to make up the difference. So Laura Brethauer will be moving on. She is advancing on. So the good news, she's advancing on. Well, the bad news, she has to face Jill Kittner.
That is terrible news. Unbelievably terrible news.
But I mean, if you can get through her, then you've got through the best, right? So now we go back at it again. Steffi Marth, Manon Carpenter, one of them's going to be moving on, and one's going to be packing the bags and heading home on this one.
Yeah, Manon downhill specialist, but if you follow on social media, and we know she loves dirt jumping. She rides a lot of different bikes. Whoa, caught napping out the gate here. Steffi's out to a flyer. Can she keep it up through this? Oh no, bobble from her.
No.
That's not going to be good enough. Manon's obviously putting the pressure on her. Seen a big mistake from Steffi. She had the lead there.
So Manon Carpenter will be going to the semifinals to face the winner of our next matchup.
Yeah, semifinals a nice place to be. You kind of know you've guaranteed got fourth. You know, you've got another chance at getting a medal. So it's a really nice spot to be, and then you can kind of go for broke to get into that final.
Well, we definitely know there's one woman out there. She's definitely trying to get in there. Caroline Buchanan. It had him switch. Caroline Buchanan's on the right on this one. Isabelle Cordier, she is on the left. There you go. But she's got to make up 1.08. That's huge.
And they're pretty even out the gate. Caroline, like you said, if she can kind of conserve some energy into these later rounds, this pump track is extremely physical. It's kind of a little bit uphill when it comes back to that back berm. You really got to fight all physical to get through. It's not only technique.
So Caroline Buchanan has done what she needed to do. She's moved into the semifinals. So she'll be battling it out for a medal, but you almost got to think that if she gets through Manon Carpenter, we're going to have a rematch between Caroline Buchanan and Jill Kittner for the gold. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but...
No, we don't, but that's clearly what we'd love to see, wouldn't we?
Well, let's take a look at the brackets, how they're stacking up. There you go, the semifinals are set. Jill Kittner and Laura Brethauer going head-to-head. Manon Carpenter and Caroline Buchanan, they'll be going head-to-head too as well. And the winners will move on to the finals, and the losers will go on to the small final and battle out for the bronze medal. Which brings us back to the guys now. And that's going to mean Mitch Ropalato. And he's got some work to do here because he's going to get Benedict Glass, his first ever appearance at Crankworx. So Mitch on the right, Last on the left. And Last has the advantage, not by much, but he does have the advantage.
We feel like Mitch is going to the faster track, but Mitch Ironman Ropalato after that crash really needs to make something happen here.
He has won it 4 times. He doesn't get the start. This could hurt him right here, Needles.
No, he really needs to push as hard as he can. He's got the technique to do so. It's looking like he's done it. There was a bobble from Benedict. Oh, no.
Is it enough? 0.85. That should be enough for Mitch Ropalato. Does he move on? Yes, he does. Mitch Ropalato. Nice save, Mitch, at the end.
Yeah, I hate to say it. That's the pressure these top athletes put on the other rivals, you know. Like, Benedict had enough there. He was behind, but not too much. So let's get down to Hannah and see what Mitch has to say.
Yeah, let's get a word in with that.
Well, I think this is something that everyone wants to know. Mitch, how are you doing after that crazy crash yesterday in dual speed and style?
I'm good right now. Just like neck was so tight this morning. I just like got up and I was like, oh crap. But I'm good now. I feel like took an ibuprofen. We're like starting to loosen up, and then all these runs are definitely helping me out. So I feel like we're doing a lot better now.
Well, a combined 5 podiums on the pump track. A little bit of a comeback here coming into this race with not getting on the podium in Rotorua.
Yeah, like I mean, right now, like I'm just trying to just get top 4s. Like top 4 is good right now. I'm like stoked on that, so we'll go through these next rounds, put down some good runs, see where we end up.
Very happy to see you back on the bike. Thanks, Mitch.
I'll tell you what, you and me and all of us here in Leger are very happy to see Mitchell Ropolato walk away from that crash and still be the #1 qualifier. Dude is tough as nails. Let's take a look at the brackets right now for the guys and how it's stacking up. There's Keegan Wright in that helmet, man. Not seeing him is kind of a weird thing. Mitchell Ropolato, see how he's moved on. Okay, so now he's going to face the winner of this next one. Adrian Lerone has the advantage over Slavic right now. And there you go. Now these guys are ready to go. Adrian Lerone on the left, Slavic on the right here, Needles.
Titanic battle. Slavic, from what we've been told, like we said, going to the faster track, but I don't know if it's 0.26 faster. Let's see what they do here. They're going into the back straight, the narrow one we talk about. Slavic is pushing hard. He's clean, though. He needs more than this, though. Adrian is keeping him honest, and I don't think he's done enough.
So Slavic will take the win of their second matchup by 0.18, but he needed to make up more than that. So the difference is going to be 0.08, and Adrian Lerone will be facing Mitch Ropolato.
Big win for Adrian. I mean, that was a very, very competitive matchup going against Slavic. Mr. Consistency coming out on top when he needs to.
Well, and the King of Crankworx series is on. The King of Crankworx is on the line. The series is on the line. So Adrian Lerone showing up and getting into the final four. That's big.
That is big because as we saw, Matt Walker, he took him out. Lost a lot of points there, old Matt did. So now he's going to creep ahead in that title race.
And especially if he comes out and takes a win and takes 150 points on it. So now Barry Nobles, he's on the right on this one. Eddie Masters, he's on the left. Eddie, winner of run one.
They're out the gate there.
Yeah, that was...
Barry Nobles pushing hard here. He's using his manual technique. Eddie Masters trying to keep him honest. Looks like he's got a little bit lead here going in. We'll see what the time says, though.
Yeah, so Barry Nobles is the winner, and I think he's the one who's supposed to be moving on. That first graphic we saw, we'll double check it on that, but we'll get our scores on that and our scoring timing on that one. But I think Barry Nobles is the one moving on this one.
So it's coming in. There's a possibility that Barry Nobles is disqualified. Obviously, then they give him maximum time deficit. So that's what we're going to have to see.
Maybe we can go back. Let's go back to that first round and we'll see what happened that would disqualify. So this is earlier. We're trying to figure out what happened to Nobles. Why was he disqualified?
So he did hit that bump going into the turn that I spoke about, but that's obviously not it. See if he crosses the white line here, which, that is so borderline. But rules are rules. They obviously, the judges.
Yeah, can we roll that back? Let's go back and look at that again, because that looks like, is he on the line? Here's
yeah.
Okay.
We can't see it because it's obviously in the bottom of the roller, but it's kind of clear as day now looking at it. Oh, that is torture.
What a tough way to be eliminated. That's just tough right there. But you know what?
Eddie Masters didn't expect that, but racing's racing, man. Those are the rules.
You said it. Rules are rules.
He's going to be pretty disappointed in that, flying all the way from America here, but we got Innsbruck next week. He's going to have to be motivated for that.
He's going over there. Cheney Gane now, winner of run one. And we saw Dakota Norton go off track, so it's the max differential between these guys.
Yeah, so Cheney, Dakota coming out even here. Dakota will see in the downhill as well. Cheney with his short shorts, they're not holding him back. Man, these guys are close to that white line. Dakota with the advantage, though.
Yeah, but it was such
a big one for him to make up.
Yeah, so that's going to be too much. So he's going to be the guy. Cheney Gane, winner from last year here in Leger. He's moving on, and Dakota Norton, he's sent packing on this one.
Man, what an upset, though. Barry Nobles, he's riding fast, qualified well. And he's going to be bitterly, bitterly disappointed with that. I mean, man, what was that, an inch too much?
Yeah, just a little too much on that one. Well, taking a look at things for tomorrow, please join us because we're not done with all the broadcasts. It's the Leger Downhill presented by IXS, and I know that you're excited about this one, Needles.
This is a course that we've been needing to have on the circuit again. Back in 2004, there was a World Champs here. I've been out there, snuck a few runs on my bike, trying not to tell anyone. It's an amazing course. We'll obviously tell you more about it tomorrow.
So join us back there. You can always check crankworx.com for all the latest times for all the broadcasts, including slopestyle which will be on Red Bull TV on Sunday. Here's a look at your semifinals right now. Jill Kittner and Laura Bretthauer, and then Manon Carpenter and Caroline Buchanan. You know, I tell you what, Jill Kittner is prepared definitely to compete here today.
Yeah, she went home. She did her homework. It's clearly going to pay off.
This is what she had to say about preparation.
I don't know, I want to show up prepared and at my best and see what I get out of it. You know, like, I'd rather do the work and be at my potential than not do the work and show up just average. Like, that's not what I'm about. And yeah, I'll do whatever it takes really to be at my top.
Well, that's how she prepares right now, yeah. And I think you said it best, Nitos, that this could channel her energy. When she takes a loss, she comes in more focused and it pumps her up even harder.
It might have been a good thing for her to take that loss at the first round. I mean, she goes home, puts in a bulk of training, technique work, and now we've got 2 back-to-back Crankworx events.
Bretthauer on the right, Jill Kittner on the left.
Very good out the gate from Jill. Clean out of that turn. Not the biggest gap I thought she might have on here going to the final straight, but this is where she excels. This is where she does that manual and puts down the heat.
Yeah, because you saw when she was facing Geraldine Fink, you saw Fink kind of gapping that instead of manually across it. You see that Jill Kittner keeping that back wheel on the dirt, keeping that speed going all the way.
Yeah, good gap that she's taken into the second. Half a second, like we said in PumpTrack world, that's a big gap.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she is 100% focused. Then on Carpenter coming up.
And she takes it serious. She's hopped on her trail bike, training bike. She's spinning those legs, trying to keep the lactic acid out of them. You know, you don't get to spin your legs, obviously, on PumpTrack, so you're just doing like mini squats, and that really burns your legs. So you want to loosen them, keep them as loose as you can throughout the evening.
That's a good note right there. Next up, here we go, taking a look at Caroline Buchanan on the right. There she is right there. And you want to wonder, who is Caroline Buchanan? Well, let's show you who Caroline Buchanan is. That is who she is, BMX World Champ, World 4-Cross Champ, 2-time Olympian, Whistler PumpTrack Champ, Rotorua PumpTrack Champ. She has basically done it all. She even won the national championships in Australia in BMX, so she's got that too as well.
Yeah, she's doubling up doing both, but she's come out said how hard she's focusing on these Crankworx events. She really enjoys how fun the atmosphere is. It's a different skill set that she can work on.
Caroline Buchanan, there she is on the right. Manon Carpenter on the left here. Great Britain versus Australia here.
Yeah, Manon, no slouch on a hardtail. Like we said, there's a lot of dirt jumping in the off-season preparing for a downhill season. Caroline holding an advantage here, even on the faster track as well. Manon keeping her honest though. Let's see what the gap is.
Gap's going to be 0.39. That's going to be the difference for them on that one. So Caroline Buchanan is on a collision course to face Jill Kittner the way things are looking right now.
I like how you put that. It's a collision course.
All right, let's check in with Hannah Bernard, who's standing by right now. Hannah.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, well, you just showed us all who Caroline Buchanan is. Obviously, such a legend in so many different disciplines. Caroline, tell me how focused you are on getting that Queen of Crankworx title, which you are in the lead for right now.
Just taking it one step at a time, and there's a lot of events. It's a huge year, so just staying in the moment, loving it.
3 combined podiums in Crankworx PumpTrack. You've won it twice before. Do you feel good? Do you feel like you can take another gold here today?
Yeah, it always comes down to the wire, so just staying in there and hope the crowd gets rowdy.
Yeah, crowd, get rowdy here in Leger, guys.
Oh, definitely a rowdy crowd. Thanks, Hannah. The crowd's been supporting big time. The weather cooperating 100% with us. You know, and I was talking about the collision course between these two ladies, and it looks like it's going in that direction right now. Jill Kittner and Caroline Buchanan. But there's only one more race between them. Taking a look at the guys right now. Semifinals is set. Mitch Ropolato, Adrian Larone. That's the matchup there. And Eddie Masters and Chaney Gane. So Chaney, member, the winner in Leger. Adrian Larone, he's won it. He's got a ton of seconds. Mitch Ropolato's won it a bunch of times too as well. So a lot of winners here. There you go. Mitch Ropolato on the left. Adrian Larone on the right.
I think it's key to try to take the lead in this first heat and put the pressure on for the second round. Oh, big bobble from Mitch though. Can he make that up going into this first turn? Looking clean though, and Adrian as well. Holding the lead though, Adrian, on that faster track. pumping as hard as they can. Mitch is trying to do as much as he can to minimize that deficit.
Yeah, 0.49 still when you're going against Adrian Lerone. That's a tough number to tackle right there.
He came back from a bigger one previously, so let's not count him out.
No, he's definitely not out, but I think you got to get the snap out of the start. Check this out right here.
Yeah, you
Boom.
see, his subconscious made him do a little pedal stroke, and that almost throws you over the bars.
So how important, Needles, is the start in PumpTrack?
I think it's really important for mental, because if the guy gets out in front of you, you can kind of get a bit stressy, and you don't have a lot of time to make it up.
Indeed. So that's going to be Adrian Lerone. He'll have the advantage.
But as Mitch said, he's just kind of reeling off some top fours, trying to get some points. He's probably just amazed that he's even here at PumpTrack, let alone in the top four. I know we're harping on about that crash, but it was awful to see.
Eddie Masters, Cheney Gane now to go head-to-head here in the semifinals, their first matchup. And you got Cheney Gane, he is on the right, Eddie Masters on the left here.
Yeah, Eddie needs to just go for broke here. He's had a bit of a luck getting in here. Now he might as well go as hard as he can and lay it all on the line to try to get to that final.
Cheney first into that berm.
Yeah, really good technique from Cheney. He's manualing hard, really smooth rider.
And by 0.21.
Eddie's still very much in it. He's going to go over to that little bit quicker course for the second round.
Yeah, you got to wonder, is that going to change things up for him? No, we'll find out. Cheney Gane having the advantage over Eddie Masters, but not by a ton. Getting the jump out of the gate, though, that's going to be important when those guys go at it again.
It's key. I mean, we've got such a short track here when you do PumpTrack. It's vitally, vitally important.
All right, well, we got more coming up. We're getting guys ready coming up for you. The best riders in the world competing out here. Okay. All right, taking a look at the women now as we have narrowed it down to our final four for the women. And there's Jill Kittner in yellow. Kind of used to seeing her in yellow, means she's going to have the advantage. And then Manon Carpenter, she's got some work cut out to her, but she's facing Caroline Buchanan, and we talked about it. Is this the collision course that we're going to see? Are we going to see Jill Kittner and Caroline Buchanan go head-to-head? Well, we got one more ways to go to see if this is going to happen. And I think it looked like, Needles, she's been conserving her energy on the races and just running as fast as she needs to run.
Yeah, as fit as these riders are, it is key to conserve that energy. It's a very physical PumpTrack this year.
Jill with the snap out of that gate.
Smooth through the first turn. She's getting kept honest here, though. And like you said, is she riding to her full capabilities or not, or is she conserving energy? We don't know just yet.
She is so much about the strategy. I think she's saving some of it because she knows that she could be facing Caroline Buchanan and she doesn't want the same thing to happen. So let's send it down to Hannah, who's down there right now. Hannah, what's going on?
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm here with Jill Kittner, the PumpTrack killer, queen of PumpTrack, and your queen of Crankworx. You have 8 combined first places in PumpTrack. But what I want to know is, are you riding to your full potential, or are you saving it for that final, Jill?
Did you see something I didn't?
I want to know your strategy. Give us some.
I'm after perfection, Hannah, every time.
And we know that. Guys, back up to you.
We're looking at highlights from earlier, but I still think she's saving a little bit in that tank, Needles.
Yeah, she's not going to give away. She's not showing you what card she's holding.
I mean, remember, Rotorua, she was second to Caroline Buchanan, and she's not been second very often when it comes to PumpTrack. When you have 8 wins since we started doing PumpTrack, That's astonishing, and that's the most out of any competitors on the men's side or on the women's side. Jill Kittner definitely a dominator when it comes to pump.
Yeah, we saw it before. Even coming in with fastest qualifier, she got taken down in New Zealand. And like we said, there's a collision course clearly happening here.
But Caroline has her work cut out for her. She's got to take care of Ron Carpenter right now. So Caroline Buchanan, winner of run 1, just has to run her style race. Here we go.
Out the gate like a rocket, Caroline. That's some BMX experience there. Keeping it tidy down the back straight. Man on clean as well. Caroline knew that she had the advantage, so she's kind of mailing it in here.
So we talked about it right there. The collision course is set, and we're going to have a repeat of the finals between Jill Kittner and Caroline Buchanan. That's how it's going to go between those. And then Manon Carpenter, she's going to head on to the small final and battle out for that bronze medal. Well, we've set it for the small final and the big final here in Leger, France, our second stop of our Crankworx World Tour. And Leger is an amazing place, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. There's just mountain biking for every type of rider. There's amazing lift access. You can go for days and days here, not ride the same track.
I mean, it's just big. Everything about it when you get to Leger is big. 90 kilometers of trails, that's a lot of trails.
Like we said, it takes you days to get all of them done.
It's a whole Porte du Soleil that's what it's all about. I mean, you can access for one pass, you can do basically all the mountains around here. So that's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's a great system that they have with a one pass that gets you lift access all over the region into Switzerland.
And if you're feeling like a trip to Europe, well, this is the place you want to be, Leger, France, because they really do a great job out here in what they're doing with their bike park. Hey, let's see if we could take a look at that last start from the last race we just saw. Okay. This is run number 1 right here, and this is between Adrian Lerone and Mitch. There's that.
Mitch with the hesitation, subconsciously went in for a little crank. Obviously, there's no chain, so that really didn't help his race.
And now we change sides. Mitch Ropolato now on the right, Adrian Lerone on the left. Adrian Lerone with the advantage by 0.49.
Yeah, so it's combined time. So Mitch is not out of this. He's got a bit of time to make up here, but he's on the faster track. He needs a good start though, Brad. Oh dear, as I say that.
I mean, you gotta like what he's doing there. He's just trying to get it out of the gate first.
Yeah, he's trying to anticipate that gate, which is not easy.
Oh,
that's the fine line you do from anticipating the gate drop. He's got a lot of work to make up this gap. He's going for it though. He's in the lead. Probably one of his best laps that he's put in.
0.38. Mitch Ropolato takes the win on that one. By 0.11, Adrian Lerone will be the one moving on. So
he won't be happy with that.
Definitely not going to be happy with that one. All right, let's see if we can get a word in with Adrian Lerone with Hannah Bernard.
Adrian, you have won this event before. You're on your home soil. How motivated are you going into that final?
I think tonight is the night. I would like to thank all the people who's behind me, because I would do nothing without them. And tonight, I will try to give my best for you guys.
Oh, Adrian, wish you the best of luck in the final. Guys.
What a nice guy, man. Because he's got so many family members out here that are representing him. When you're on your own home soil, he really wants to do good. He says there's a lot of pressure in it too.
Yeah, there's no better feeling, but it does add to the pressure. And that's really good for his King of Crankworx title race.
Cheney Gane, winner run 1 by 0.21 over against the fun Eddie Masters. Masters now on the right, Gane on the left. Eddie's got some work to do here if he wants to go against Adrian Lerone in the final.
Yeah, winner of our PumpTrack race here last year. Eddie Masters, king of fun, also king of hard work. And he's kind of a checkers or wreckers kind of guy in the downhill, so hopefully he can do that here. Good start by both of them. Cheney's with a little bit of an advantage, but Eddie's on that faster track. He really needs to push as hard as he can out of this berm, kind of hop into that roller as he does.
Look at
Needs
this.
to push it. It's kind of a dead heat.
down to the end. Eddie Masters, the winner of race number 2, but I think it was too much to make up by .05.
That is nothing.
Oh my.
Great race by those two riders. Eddie's got another chance to get a medal though. He's going to go into the small final. Cheney, a winner from last year, going against King of Consistency. I hate to call him Mr. Second Place. It's almost not fair because he has won.
Well, here it is right there. It's all set for the finals. Adrian Lerone, he's got to go against the guy who won it all out here in Leger, Cheney Guinée. That's going to be the matchup of them. And the battle for the bronze medal, that's going to be Mitch Ropolato against Eddie Masters for the battle for the bronze between those. So both of those could be finals as far as I'm concerned, Needles.
Easily could be finals. We're going to have to wait and see how they stack up.
Well, we're going to get into it, man. The finals are coming up.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
Crankworx Leger, brought to you by SRAM. SRAM, the power of bicycles. And a beautiful look right there from Leger, France. Here, stop number 2 on our Crankworx World Tour. And we will go for the bronze medal round for the women, battling it out for the bronze. That'll be our first matchup here. And that's going to be Laura Bretthauer and Manon Carpenter. They're going to go head-to-head. Germany against Great Britain on that one, and that's the battle for the bronze. And then coming up after that, Joe Kittner and Caroline Buchanan will be battling out for the gold. So let's check in with Hannah Bernard. She's standing down in the mix. Hannah.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. I'm here with the 2 women that are going into the bronze medal round. I have Manon Carpenter and Laura Bretthauer. Both have been on the podium in PumpTrack before. Tell me how motivated you are right now, Manon.
Yeah, pretty cool. Like, I haven't raced PumpTrack for a while, and it's good to be able to do it. So, yeah, cool to be here.
All right, Laura, tell me what's going through your head right now before you head into this bronze medal round.
Well, I try to have as much fun as possible and be fast and not breaking in the corners.
Well, it sounds like a good plan. Best of luck, guys.
Well, I like that attitude. I just want to have fun out there. But I also think that when they say that, they still want to come away with the medal.
Yeah, everyone's competitive. Otherwise, wasn't signed up for a race, even though it's a PumpTrack race, you know.
Well, Bretthauer, we looked at her stats and haven't seen her with the result yet, a top 3. And Carpenter, she's got a 3rd place, so she's been on the podium before, so she knows how to get her done here, and she's battling it out for the bronze.
Yeah, so Manon in that quicker lane from what we've seen needs to take that advantage into the second round to put some pressure on Laura. Whoa. Speaking of anticipating the gate, like we said, Mitch wanted to do. Flying out the gate there. I'm not sure what the judge is going to say about that, but they should have individual timing for that. Very strong heat by Manon there. Laura, a little bit of a gap there to make up for the second round.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Could we take a look at that start again on these two? Let's look at the start here and see how they came out. You talk about Needles anticipating the gate here.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, she didn't touch the rope. So in my mind, that's okay.
Well, that's what you want to do. And that's what Mitch Ropalato was trying to accomplish on him, but it didn't work out so good for him as it did for Manon Carpenter, because she's going to have the advantage. That looked clean, like you said, didn't touch the rope with that front tire.
Yeah, very clean, very good on the manuals there, keeping her speed all the way on that final straight.
Now we take it back up top for the battle for the bronze for the gentlemen now. And this is going to be the matchup between Mitch Ropalato and Eddie Masters. And we'll check in with Hannah Bernard another time here. Hannah?
Guys, now I have the two men going head-to-head in this bronze medal round. I have Eddie Masters and Mitch Ropalato. Eddie, we just chatted. I asked you how many podiums you've had. You said 0 in PumpTrack. How ready are you for that podium?
Ready as I'll ever be. Get
the
champagne ready.
Get the champagne ready. All right, Mitch, you have 5 podiums on the other side of this track. How do you feel going into this bronze medal round?
I don't know. Edward's been a little shocker out here, man. Just bringing the heat. So I think it's going to be a good one.
Well, for you to be here after that crash yesterday is so amazing. Best of luck to the both of you guys.
Yeah, Eddie Masters, he might not want to hope for that podium, because if he gets that champagne, we might miss him in the downhill tomorrow.
Thanks for that input, Needles. Eddie Masters on the right on this one. Mitch Ropalato on the left. And I hate to just keep talking about that crash, because I'm sure Mitch Ropalato is probably done talking about that thing.
He probably had nightmares all of last night. I know I did.
Yeah. So here we go. Mitch Ropalato, Eddie Masters, the battle for the bronze.
Yeah, Mitch, not the best starter that I've seen in this PumpTrack race, but he really makes it up in the berms and the pumping. Eddie bringing the heat, though. Really close to that white line. You see, it's all fun and games in the gate, but when that rope gets dropped, Eddie's on it.
You heard what Eddie said, get that champagne ready. And he said that before they even matched up for their first time. So Eddie Masters with the advantage against Mitch Ropalato, not by a lot, but Mitch Ropalato, it seems like if he could just get one good start out of that gate, then he could actually overtake that.
It seems that's been holding him back all night. He's done great to get this far. He's really got to get a good start on the second round for his bronze medal matchup.
Well, as we are getting ready to go, we've seen now the battle for the bronze, and we've seen one race out of them. Manon Carpenter, she has the advantage. And now we get ready for the battle for the gold now, coming up, the first matchup. And I know the French word is déjà vu, and I'm seeing a big déjà vu here right now.
A really big one, yeah, excuse the pun there.
Let's go back to Rotorua and what those finals look like. So look at the race between these two right here.
Yeah, Jill Kidner trying to put the pressure on Caroline, but she had such a good heat there.
Caroline, all smiles, crossing the line first. A hug from Nobles, her boyfriend. And so Jill's looking to take care of that and put that in the past, because she's 100% focused at the task at hand right here. And the task at hand is getting the advantage over Caroline.
Yeah, these two ladies are fierce competitors, but I think they're competitors with themselves as well. Like Jill said, she wants to do the best that she can do, you know?
So here we go. Jill Kittner on the left, Caroline Buchanan on the right. This is the finals that we saw from Rotorua. And here we are again in Leger as these same two battle it out for the gold.
Good start from Jill. Caroline's got some work cut out on this faster track though, but can she take advantage of the speed here out this back berm? Jill riding a really smart race. Oh, no way. I think we're gonna have the same problem that she had with, with Barry Nobles running over the white line.
I think we're gonna need to take a look at that right there. Did she go across that white line? It looked like she did. Let's see if we can run this again. We're going to run this again for you here. Okay, now take a look. There's Jill. Here comes Caroline.
Oh, she's just got bucked by that roller and the weight's gone the opposite side. She's come out kind of inside out of that turn and she's pointing towards Jill instead of pointing towards her lane. So it's super aggressive out the turn, but it hasn't paid off.
Watch that front tire right there going across.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see what the judges say about that one. Not looking good considering what happened with Barry.
Yeah, we saw that with Barry Nobles. So Jill Kittner. Yeah, it looks like it's official. Caroline Buchanan will have the max differential because she crossed the line right there, and that means Jill Kittner is have to stay on point, and she's going to come away with a gold medal. What a frustrating way to lose it. I mean, it's not over at this point, because if Jill crosses the line, then that's the max differential. I don't even know how that would happen.
No, she's going to have to force a huge mistake. But Jill, being the consistent, great competitor that she is, she's going to play a smart race. We all know that.
Well, let's take a look at Rotorua and show you how things went on that one, because we flash back on this one.
Yeah, so Keegan Wright really riding strong throughout the whole day. He had the advantage coming in. Adrian made a big mistake. Keegan taking that big gold medal.
But Adrian Lerone, I mean, the second place for him so many times, and you heard what he said in that interview. He's not about second place. He wants to win this thing, and he wants to do it now. So here we go. Adrian Lerone, Cheney Goudet, the winner from Leger last year. He's on the right, Adrian Lerone on the left.
Yeah, deja vu. So, Cheney, looking to repeat from last year. He's on the quicker course. Both out the gate, very clean. Going into this back straight and this back turn. Again, it's basically a dead heat, Brad.
Oh,
Both using the manual technique.
Oh!
There's nothing in that.
Cheney by .02. By .02, the difference on that one. But they've been saying that course to the right is a little faster. We'll see what happens when they re-rack them.
Yeah, in saying that, you think the advantage is actually sitting with Adrian going over to that faster course. That's basically a dead heat. Remember, wipe this slate. It's all up to this next round.
Check the finish here. This is close. Right all the way, just... Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is a photo finish.
What?
Like we said, wipe the slate. It's all or nothing in the second round.
So all French final right there, and it's like Adrian Lerone is the second place. Curse gonna happen again. Oh my goodness. So taking a look at the women's bracket, let me show you how we got to where we are at now. This is how they've done their job to get to where they are. You see Laura Bredhauer, she's gonna be battling out for the bronze with Manon Carpenter. They had to go through a lot to get there, but Carpenter has the advantage going into this one. So the battle for the bronze right here. Advantage Carpenter. 0.73, that's huge, Needles.
That is big. It's going to be incredibly difficult to make up. But racing's racing. We've seen a lot of people go over this white line now when the push comes to shove. Looking, both of them evenly matched out of the back turn. No one creeping over the white line, so we've got no problems there.
By 0.27, but I don't think that's going to be enough. So Manon Carpenter, yep, she's going to take the bronze right there. Congratulations. Laura Bredhauer is going to settle for that fourth place finish.
That's a great feat for Manon. She's coming here preparing on the downhill. That's her main focus. Having some fun here on PumpTrack. Goes home with some hardware.
That's got to feel pretty good right there, taking that one. And it was pretty close all the way down to it. So that was a good battle for that bronze.
Yeah, it's a good feeling for going into tomorrow. Let's
Mitch Ropolato, the crash scene around the world yesterday. He's on the right on this one. Eddie Masters, he is on the left. And Eddie Masters, he has the advantage over Ropolato. Man, Ropolato needs a good start here. 0.24 he's got to make up.
Not a bad start from considering he had some poor ones the whole night. This is where he really excels. Pumps hard in this back straight. And then this comes flying out this berm. Eddie is keeping him honest. I think he might have done it though, Mitch.
Wait a minute. Mitch Ropolato, 0.39. He beats Eddie Masters on the second one. And the bronze medal goes to Mitch Ropolato. Just like that. Don't count him out. That's what Needle said. definitely don't count him out. Let's take another look at that one.
Yeah, when the pressure was on, he really delivered. He had a decent start compared to what he was having the whole night, so that's good to see. Wasn't the best, but he was out clean. Eddie had a bit of a jump. This is where he excels, down this back straight. Using the manual technique, and he comes flying and hops out of that berm, keeping it really low. He does the manual, but the front wheel stays very, very low.
Man, when it counted, Mitch Ropalato, he needed a start. He got one on that, and he also got himself a medal as well. Nice redemption after yesterday. Well, we're going to hand out some gold medals and some silver medals, and we're going to be doing that in just a moment. Could tell you what, these guys are psyched. The ladies are psyched. Who's going to come away with the gold for the ladies? Who's going to come away with the gold for the men? Who's going to grab the silver? Well, that's all going to be determined because we are coming up. The fans are pumped. Needles is pumped. Everyone is on point for this one. It's all coming up. The finals, the battle for the gold here in Leger from Crankworx.
We're trying to make a drivetrain that works better. We're trying to improve upon the things that we had done.
Introducing the all-new SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain. No matter what kind of rider you are or the kind of terrain you might ride, Eagle is simply the best. GX Eagle drivetrains have a range of gears that rival or flat out beat most 2x systems. Engineered in Germany, made for the world. This is GX Eagle.
Crankworx, brought to you by Leger, where the action never stops. I'll tell you what, we have still 2 more broadcasts we have down till tomorrow, but Sunday, join us for Crankworx Leger Slopestyle. There's your times on that one if you're on the West Coast. That's bright and early, but it's definitely worth getting up early for that one. Join us, 2 more broadcasts to go. The Slopestyle, the Big Daddy coming up on Sunday. Looking forward to that one. All right, well, how did we get to where we are right now between Jill Kintner and Caroline Buchanan battling it out for the gold in the championship round? It's been a lot of work on all of their sides, but run number 1, here's how it looked when they first matched up. Now watch that tire, Needles, no!
Yeah, Jill put a lot of pressure on Caroline. She was on the slower course. Caroline needed to make up some ground, pushing it a bit hard and crossing over that white line into Jill's lane, getting that max differential, which is going to be almost impossible to make up.
I gotta say, it is impossible to make up. 1.34, I'm just gonna walk that plank on that one, but Jill Kintner, when you're gonna spot her at 1.34, I really doubt that Caroline can do something here.
Have we seen anything can happen? So Jill out the gate on that faster track. She needs to ride conservative, but if Caroline can put a wheel ahead and really force a mistake here. Caroline pushing as hard as she can, almost crosses the line as well.
And that's going to do it. Caroline Buchanan, she's going to cross first, but by .07, and that means the gold medal redemption belongs to Jill Kittner after Rotorua. Turnabout is fair play. Jill Kittner will grab the gold, and Caroline Buchanan will take the silver. Let's send it down to Hannah Bernard. Hannah?
Well, guys, I'm here with your current queen of Crankworx and now your Leger PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox gold medalist for the women. Jill, we know you've been waiting for this moment since that first stop on the Crankworx World Tour in Rotorua. How good does it feel to be back on top?
Yeah, it feels good to get a win. I'm happy with that. Yeah, Caroline's always tough in the finals. She steps it up, so I'm just glad that PumpTrack exists and this many people know what a PumpTrack is, so we get more all around the world.
All right, well, big congratulations to you guys. Your gold medalist here in the Women's PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox.
Oh, indeed. Jill Kittner, this little matchup is going to be a lot of fun going into Innsbruck, because that'll be the next two when they match up. And then Whistler. Now we look at Aidan Lerone. Will it be second place again for Aidan Lerone? Or we're Shani Gannett, can he repeat here in Leger? Well, let's take a look at round one, how these guys matched up here against each other. Here we go, run number one. Needles, talk us through this one.
So Adrian coming out on that slower course than what we've seen. Cheney riding a really good race. Thing is here, on this straight, they're both using the manual technique, super smooth, driving that bike forward, and it was basically a dead heat coming into this final.
.02, are you kidding me, the difference there? All right, Adrian Lerone on the right. Could it be second place for him again? Or will it be at first place? Will Shani Gannett grab yet another gold medal? Here we go.
And we've got Adrian on the faster track. This is an advantage for him. Can he take it home and dismiss that second place? Both out the gate clean. Coming into this first berm. Oh, Adrian running really wide there, but staying on track. He really needs to fight here. It looks like he's got a wheel ahead. He's going to take it and take his win.
He's done it. Adrian Lerone on home soil has taken the gold medal out here today. Shani Gannett, he got the gold last year, but he'll have a silver medal to go with that gold medal this year.
What an unbelievable feeling. Handling the pressure at home in front of family, friends, everyone's coming over to congratulate him. It must be such a great feeling. Get rid of that stigma of the second place as well.
Wow. Let's send it down to Hannah Bernard and see if we can get a word with our gold medalist.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to get in here, guys. Such a celebration doing this on home soil. Adrian, you said that today was the day you were so motivated all competition long. How does it feel to have the gold here in your home soil?
Whoa, no words. It's a long time that I'm not going to win. I got so many second places 2 years in a row, and I got to win again. It's so nice. Thanks, everybody.
What did you say to yourself before you came down in this final?
Sorry?
What did you say to yourself before you came down in that run?
I don't know. I don't know. I would just give my best.
Okay, if you have no words in English, give some love to your home crowd here. Say some words in French.
I could say it in French. Merci les gars, merci à tout le monde. J'ai fini. Je voudrais dire bravo aussi à Shani Gannett qui est à côté de moi, qui a gagné l'année dernière. S'il vous plaît, ce gars-là, il est pas professionnel, mais c'est vraiment un des meilleurs mecs que j'ai jamais vu rouler sur une PumpTrack. Et on peut l'encourager parce qu'il a sa vie à côté et c'est beau d'être là parmi les meilleurs. Bravo.
Amazing camaraderie out here. Adrian Lerone, your champion here at the PumpTrack Challenge presented by Rockshox at Crankworx Leger.
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't speak a lot of French, but I know he was thanking Shani Gannett in there. Well, let's take a look at her standings right now and how things are shaping up. since we've just finished that one, take a look right here, your PumpTrack World Tour. Jill Kittner, she is tied with Caroline. They both got a win. We're going to Innsbruck next weekend. And then after that, the showdown in Whistler. Let's take a look at what the men have done on their side. And I got to tell you, Adrian Lerone has been solid, and this is a big win, and it's going to help his cause, because look at that, Needles. 250 points. That's 100 points over Keegan Wright. Mitro Pilato, 125. Barry Noble's down there. Channing Ganay, Slavic, Dakota Norton, all the way down to Eddie Masters.
Yeah, Adrian getting rid of that stigma of the second places, taking a bit of a lead in that series. That's also going to look good for King of Crankworx points.
And that's what you want to do. You want to come out here and task at hand, get it done. And Adrian Lerone taking the gold medal. Channing Ganay, a silver medal for him, a gold medal for him last year. Mitro Pilato, one of the biggest crashes that I've ever seen at Crankworx. Mitro Pilato comes away with the bronze medal. And Eddie Masters, not too shabby with that 4th place. Well, let's take a look on the ladies' side. Look at the charge for the Queen of Crankworx. Well, of course, Jill Kittner is trying to defend her Queen title. Can she do it? Where's she at now? Well, we'll show you right now, because Jill Kittner with that win is only going to help her cause even more. So your Queen of Crankworx standings for you thus far as we get into the thick of things. 350 points, but look at this, Needles right behind her.
That is nothing in that, and I can't believe we're going to see more action next week in Innsbruck.
It's all just coming up. Now let's talk about the King of Crankworx. Slavic is the defending King of Crankworx. Well, how is this looking right now? What do you think about that?
Well, Adrian Lerone, obviously that win's helping him there. Jacob winning speed and style, that bumped him up. Matt Walker didn't have a good showing tonight, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up, but he's got downhill tomorrow.
So another big day. Speaking of downhill, I'm glad you bring that up, because take a look. Your Crankworx Leger Downhill presented by IXS is going to be kicking off in a big, big way. Wow. I'll tell you what. Tell me right now, final thoughts to you out here at Needles.
I'm so impressed with Adrian Lerone, handling the home pressure. It's really, really difficult, because you just want to perform, but you just got to stay in the moment and get through all these heats. So he had a great race, getting rid of that stigma, taking the #1 spot. That was my highlight tonight.
You can't script it better than a Hollywood movie. Adrian Lerone, so many second places, but not this time. He is going to take that colored gold and put that around his neck as he heads into more action. Now you look at the ladies' side of Caroline Buchanan. Yeah, she won in Rotorua. Jill Kittner, she wanted to take the win, and she did it. She's the gold medalist. On behalf of our entire Leger Crankworx crew, Hannah Bernard down in the mix, and of course the legend Needles alongside. Been an amazing time, and good night from Leger, France. Thank you for tuning on in.